to do is be able to push the swing down so it hits our legs. So not our belly, not our bladder, particularly not the bladder, but the legs. Okay? If you do need to pee, the swing will tell you. Feel free to take care of yourself. I pee frequently, so I will take taking frequent breaks. And that's okay. So if you have your arms straight, it works for everybody. This is the sacred geometry of the body that I like to teach in the module 3. We'll get little teasers as we go along. We keep our feet on the ground. The center of the mat is ideal. Okay, and we're going to come into the forward fold. Hip distance with the feet. Figure out how wide your hips are. Usually they're either not as wide or wider than people think. Your hips are not that wide. Walk your feet to the center of the mat. I know. It's so funny. Really? Yeah, I know. Center of the mat. Come forward, honey. Center of the mat. Nope, with your feet. Oh, with my feet. There. Yeah. Here. Center of the mat. And so you're up on your toes and you're pushing forward. So notice I'm not using my hands right now. I'm just floating. If your swing feels a little high, we can bring it down for you. If it feels a little low, we can bring it up for you. There's like a sweet spot that we find for each person. So the first thing we do is hang. Okay, we're going to interlace, clasp our elbows, and just let ourselves sway a little bit from side to side. Let it feel good to get the massage on the hip flexors, which need to soften. Right, with time, they will soften. But until now, we're just very gentle with them. We love the hip flexors. They have a very intense job. Okay, and then from here, we can go ahead and grab our ankles, which is a nice way, so we keep draping, drape the weight forward, so your head is going to come over the front. Don't move your feet, just kind of, don't rock back onto your heels. Right, so our hips are going to come forward, yeah. So you got to get used to that hang, so the swing is totally holding your weight. Does that make sense, guys? Yeah, nice. Okay, great. And from here, I also like to clasp behind the back of the neck. This is one of the best poses for opening up the cervical spine. So what we're going to do is create a nice long spine. Most people are bending at their waist, which is really stressing the lumbar. We're bending at the hip crease. So our heads are really close to the ground, and we can see that our torso, if we really take the measurement from the hip joint, is the same length as our legs. Almost, right? Way more than we think. Like, go ahead and look at Connie and see how her legs and her torso look like the same length now. Right? It's pretty amazing. Most people, when they fold, they're folding at their waist and they're losing that 6 inches. Approximately. Okay, guys. So, interlacing the fingers behind the back of the neck, pulling straight down. Feel that all the way through the hamstrings and the calves. Let that feel great. And then we're going to spread out. So go ahead and let your hands come off the front of the mat. Okay? So when our hands come off the front of the mat, we're in a down dog. Et voila. So it's not your grandma's down dog. Your toes, your heels are not going to touch. So kind of you have to walk your feet back so you're, yeah, there you go. Okay. If you need a little bit more space, spread out. But center of the mat is kind of the cue for all the forward folds, just so we're all in the same place. Beautiful. Shake out your head, shake out your hair, shake out your thoughts. And then we're going to practice some cat's meow. So cat's meow is when we inhale and pull forward, right? Like a cat cow and a down dog got together. And then exhale, round in and squeeze your navel towards the sky. Inhale, come forward. Beautiful. Exhale, go ahead and squeeze, round in. Inhale, come forward. Really nice, guys. Okay, great. I'm going to go in the same direction as you guys for a little bit for our cat cow down dog sequence. Swing down one as I'm kind of floating. If you guys want it to be a little easier, you can bring the swing down. If you want it to be a little harder, you bring the swing up. There's lots of room for play in that.
I want to bring mine down.
Great. So we have lots of people here to help you. Connie, you've just taken over the bench. Can we have that back?
Oh, sure.
Is that convenient? Well, we have more, which is fine. I love your creativity.
But I don't have to go all the way down to mice. I'm like, oh.
So, Jen, just remember we have the camera shooting there. Not like it's a big deal, but it's always good to keep that in mind. And then we'll bring this down for you. Yeah, it is a little bit easier lower, so a little bit better. Yeah, and then we'll just keep this here.
Oh, yeah.
All right, guys, you're doing great. Let's the center of the mat if you can. Heels up, pouring all of your weight, so your hips are kind of draping towards the front of your mat. Okay? Keep your feet in the center of the mat, honey, if you can. It's a good reference point to understand where the hips should be. So can you see how my hips are close?
Right.
It's as opposed to sinking back.
Yeah.
So we really want to rock forward and let the swing hold us. This is how we have our.
I'm just letting the swing hold me in the middle, like down here. So I was letting the swing hold me.
We're going to get into our floating poses next.
That's a different thing.
We're getting there. Yeah. So let's inhale and arch for cat's meow. Exhale, round in. Inhale, lift. Yep. Feel free to use the back mirror if you need to see. Exhale, round in, which is nice to have. Inhale, lift. Awesome. Now once we're here, we can do a few different practices which are really fun. If we want to let ourselves float, we're going to walk our hands to the front of the mat, and then we can come into our forward plank. Okay? Let's just try pulling ourselves forwards and back. So I'm bringing a lot of strength into my fingertips to kind of traction myself forward and back, and feet are going to be hip distance. No higher if you can. Yeah, you guys fit like Legos. You're good. I know. You know, it's how that we get that underbelly of the arm working, right? Now from here, we're going to come down onto our elbows. We'll revisit that one, and this is called floating leaf. So legs straight if you can. It's okay to bend, but legs straight if you can. And now we're on our forearms, hands at the front of the mat. You guys are doing great. And just let your toes pulse a little bit in the space. So let them come up and let them almost touch down. And you'll get like a free rocking session on your hips. It's really amazing for the hip flexors. Now, of course, even with all the padding of the swing, it's still intense, so only go as far as it feels good for today. All right? So that is our floating pose, and we can do a little from side to side, which feels really good. Can you see in the mirror, Wendy?
Yeah.
Not
I got a little crack right through.
Yeah. There you go. Perfect. So we're lengthening through the side body, right? So we're getting the spine retraction out of the pelvis to create space in between the vertebrae. So this is really our only inversion in the basic practice. It's a forward fold into a supported headstand, which we're doing next. Let's come on back up. Go ahead and bring your feet back to the center of the mat if you can. Slide it forward. Inhale, arch and open. Okay, so I bring my shoulders over my wrists and I pull forward. I'm going to add a leg, so we're going to inhale and lift the left leg up. Exhale, pull the knee to the nose. So we're doing a leg lift with the cat's meow. Inhale, lift. Exhale, go ahead and round in. Squeeze, really good. Long arms, long legs. Inhale, lift. Exhale, squeeze. So 3 to 5 of those, depending on your class. Go ahead and bring both feet down. I call it happy dog. Wag your tail. Just let the hips explore the space. Maybe that looks like loops or figure eights or whatever feels good for you today. And then we're going to inhale. Go ahead and pull forward. Lift. Bring the right leg up. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round in and squeeze. Use your belly. Inhale, lift. So these would be our easiest core strengtheners, right? So we're just engaging through the front of the body by pulling the knee in. Inhale, lift. And the swing is holding us the whole time. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, lift. Nice. So now we're in a one-legged down dog. Let's stay here with this leg lifted. So if we kick the foot on the outside of the swing, so the leg loop. So if your toes touch the leg loop, you're in the right place. Then you hook the foot. Okay? So go ahead and hook the foot. Nope, not into the leg loop. Sorry, onto the swing.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. On the outside of the swing. What's happening? Just kick that thing out of the way. There you go. Yeah, stay stretched out and get the swing nice and low. Bend the knee. You got this. There you go. All right. Now we keep the foot in tight for this one. So you bring your foot down to your bum. Slide it down. So Connie, I need you to play along. There you go. Okay. So that's coming next. So if we push our chest, straight arms towards our standing leg, it is an amazing stretch, right? So we're getting into the back of the hamstring before we try to do anything crazy. So just take a few breaths there, and then we can pull forward. So we just come out a little bit, and then if you want to try, this is more of the intermediate practice, but since Connie went there, we're going to go there. It's all right. So now we're coming into standing splits, right? Yeah. So in standing splits, we straighten both legs, and we try to really kind of stretch it out. You're doing great. Straighten that top leg if you can. Now, it's hard to do standing splits, right? Without the swing. So this makes it easier. If you want to bend your elbows, you can even try hanging a little bit here. So then gravity's doing all the work. We just keep our bottom foot grounded. Yeah, good job, Wendy. Keep that foot grounded. I know you want to float away. Really good, John. That looks great. Go ahead and come back up. Slowly and gently bend that right knee. Land it back in your happy dog. Wag the tail. Integrating the information. Try pulling forward and rocking back. Do little loop-de-loops. Great. Just kind of play a little bit in the space. Should feel good. Okay, let's go back to our first side. So we're going to inhale, lift the left leg up. So stay here. See if you can. So just watch for a second, Wendy. So just bend the knee and then we kick the leg loop out of the way. If you don't keep this nice long line of energy, then you can't reach. It actually works better to stay lifted. If somebody kind of drops in, then it seems far away. Almost, yeah. Just karate chop it up there.
Where is it?
It's right there.
It's just because it's so wide.
Well, most people do have trouble hooking, and we have to go over and help them, and it's okay. It's just good to know. If we have trouble doing it, then other people pull the foot in nice and tight first. Foot down towards the bum. Stay with me. Okay. One-legged dog. Okay. One-legged dog is with the foot in nice and tight, and we push straight arms. We push our chest towards our standing leg. So walk your hands forward for me. Navina towards me. Walk your hands off the front of the mat. Yeah. And then push your chest towards your standing leg. Straight, yeah, like that. Nice. So it's a big stretch. Through that hamstring, right? And then we can pull forward. So we always pull forward to come out a little bit, and then we can straighten that left leg. Kind of wiggle it up, and then come into standing splits. Yeah, see if that leg will go all the way up there. Nice, Connie. So kind of come up onto the ball of your foot. So drape your weight all the way forward. Yeah. See how that's totally different? Yeah. And then if it feels good, you can bend the elbows and hang. So make sure you're nice and grounded. You don't want to float away on this one. But if you hang, then gravity is doing the work. Keep your foot grounded, Connie. Okay. Standing splits. Floating splits is in another swimming sequence that we do. If anybody wants to try and balance, they can hold on to their ankle. Okay. You can also clasp your hands behind your back. This is not part of the basic training. I'm just showing you where we can take it, and we'll do this in the intermediate practice. We'll revisit black swan and this whole sequence. Super fun. So we build on the sequencing. So what we learn in the basics, we take that and then we add more of the intermediate and advanced stuff to it. Go ahead and lower down nice and slow. Happy dog, straight arms, straight legs, on the ground. Woo, feel the difference in your hips now. Different hips than when you walked in today. And if we stay in forward folds too long, just like if the swing is hitting the underarms for too long, it feels really uncomfortable. So this is how we adjust. So inhale, pull forward for cat's meow. Right? And then we lift one leg and just let it slide down. And we lift the other leg and let it slide in. And there is a spot that feels better than the others. You guys want to just practice finding that sweet spot in the hips. And you'll notice it is uncomfortable if it rides up onto the ladder and you're playing knee break. Okay, great. So from here we're going to come back into our chattarungas. So let your hands be off the front of the mat. Feet hip distance. We're going to pull forward and back a little bit in this space. So just try rocking again. See if you can use straight arms. Use strong underbelly of the arms. Make sure you guys are working together back there. So Connie, arms are straight. Okay? So you don't drop your chest on the chaturanga here yet. Plank pose. And then legs are level with the hips the whole time. So bring your feet down more.
Mine?
Yeah, bring your feet down. Yeah, good. Awesome. So let's go ahead and pull left knee to left elbow for like a little side crunch. Right knee to right elbow. Just pulse back and forth in the space. You can make this more challenging by trying to pause and hold it at the top, or you can just be really relaxed about it and just let yourself swing front and back. Straight arms the whole time. Okay? And then if we want to try the leapfrog, we do both elbows to both knees, and we can pause for a bakasana.